What's the story, Morning Glory? What's the word, Hummingbird? Thank you so much for clicking on my channel and for joining me for this review of Life After Lockup, Season 4, Episode 13. So, yes, I am very behind. I'm only on Episode 13. I know 14 came out last week, and then this Friday is going to be 15. And I can easily skip 13 and 14 reviews and just wait for Friday and do that review. But number one, I'm a little bit OCD, and I kind of want things to go in some kind of chronological order or a sequential order on my videos, and it just puts me off when like episodes are missing, even though I watched them but I didn't review them because I'm behind, and also because there's just some stuff that I got to talk about in episode 13. And the things that I say in episode 13 probably are going to sound strange and crazy because things may have drastically changed by the time we get to 14, but I got to get some stuff off my chest. Marcelino and Brittany, sometimes I get the feeling that Marcelino and Brittany are not really having these problems. It's just for a storyline. It's just for them to stay on the show. Probably because I think that Marcelino and Brittany are fan favorites and they want to keep them on the show, but they really don't have anything worth watching. And so they created this whole situation where Marcelino is acting like a crazy person with his crazy up and down personalities, because this is so unlike him. And it's just to me a little bit unbelievable that he went from idolizing Brittany. She was the love of his life. The sun rose and set around Brittany. He put Brittany on this very high pedestal. He goes from that to treating her really bad, disrespecting her, talking crazy to her, dumping the kids off on her while she's in the middle of showing a home. And the change in personalities from the previous seasons to now is just so drastic. And one can argue that maybe he's acting like this because he's put in a situation that he's not comfortable with, being a stay-at-home dad. Maybe he's not used to that role. Maybe it's overwhelming for him, and that can lead to his personality change. Okay, fine, maybe. And then his reasoning is that the reason why he's kind of acting differently with Brittany is because when they had their menage a trois with Amanda, he realized that Brittany was more into Amanda than she was into him. And okay, I don't think that that one incident would cause him just to have a complete personality overhaul. I just don't think so. Y'all, I'm just like, I'm very worried that this is probably all like made up for to keep them on the show, to give them a reason to be on the show, because I'm just not believing that someone can change that drastically over. If he has such an issue with being a stay-at-home dad, he could go and get a job, and they can hire a babysitter, put the kids in daycare. He can go out there and he can get a job if he doesn't like being a stay-at-home dad. And if it's all because of what he saw going on between Brittany and Amanda during their little interaction, then he can talk to Brittany about that and let your wife tell you, okay, I thought I was doing something for you. I was, real gung ho about it, and, going at it like with all that enthusiasm with her because I thought we were putting on a show for you. I was doing it for you. Or, give her a chance to explain herself instead of just not saying anything. And then it just doesn't make any sense that he would act like this. But anyways, let's move on. So they're at the car wash, and before they run the car through the wash, Brittany says that she has to make a phone call. And while they're running the car if the car goes through the wash, she's going to lose reception. Okay, so I'm like, okay, why don't you just wait until after the car is washed and then make your call? But for whatever reason, she had to make her call before the car went through, because he tells her to get out of the car to make her phone call. And I'm like, why would she have to get out of her car? They're not in the middle of nowhere. They're still in a regular metropolitan area where there's cell reception. Why would she have to get out of her car to make a phone call? But he kicks her out of the car, and she obliges, and she actually gets out of the car. I wouldn't have done that. That doesn't make any sense to me. So she's outside making her phone call. He takes the car through the wash, and while the car is washing, he's texting somebody. And the producers ask him, who are you texting? And he says, sometimes you got to talk to someone who is outside of your marriage. That's like a very leading type of comment. Like, he wants to lead us into believing, or the producers of the show want to lead us into believing that he is having an inappropriate conversation with another woman. And so that's who he's referring to when he says you have to talk to someone outside of your marriage. all I got to say about that is it just seemed contrived. It just seemed forced. That whole scene seemed really forced to me. So I wasn't jumping to the conclusion of, oh, Marcelino's cheating on Brittany. I was jumping to the conclusion of, why is he making it so obvious? If he's really cheating on Brittany, because all of this is going to be seen on television. He's doing it on camera. I don't mean to bring up other shows into this review, but for example, on 90 Day Fiance, Muhammad wasn't texting other women on camera. He was doing it in secret after they filmed. And then Eve found out because she had to take the phone away from him. Marcelino's doing it all up on it doesn't I don't think he's seeing another woman. I don't think he's cheating on Brittany. I don't know why they want us to think that, but I just don't like it. But anyways, moving on. So then after the car's done washing, he tells her, he barks at her, okay, hurry, wrap it up, we gotta go. She's on a business call. I mean, I just don't believe that Marcelino would be this mean. Just like when he dropped the kids off when she was showing the home, I don't think Marcelino would do that normally. It just seems very contrived, like very forced, very fake. Like they're trying to create a storyline for these people because otherwise their lives would not be interesting enough for us to watch. Because I think Marcelino and Brittany are really at a good place with their relationship. But there's just nobody wants to watch that. So they're going to create this fake drama to keep them on the show and to keep people watching. I don't know what else to say, but it's not making any sense to me. So very rudely he tells her to wrap it up, get back in the car, finish your call later, tell him you're going to call him back. It just seemed, and then for Brittany, just to kind of go along with it, also seems unbelievable. Brittany is a very tough girl. She's been through a lot, and I don't see her backing down, not even to Marcelino, the man that she loves. I don't really see her backing down to him. I have a feeling that she probably would have thrown that phone at him. The real Brittany would have thrown that damn phone at him, but the fake Brittany is just like, okay, it's just not believable to me. So then they're back at home. They put the kids to bed. They're in the kitchen. They're talking. And he's all lovey-dovey now. Okay, now we're back to lovey-dovey Marcelino. He's all lovey-dovey on her. And he's like, you know what? I really want to make this work between us. I don't want to give up on us. So let's just try to work through our issues. And so I guess it's the next day. Brittany's on her way to work. And she says that, Marcelino, his constant up and down, like one minute he's in the marriage, the next minute he's out the marriage. He's acting really funny with her, then he's lovey-dovey with her. She's like, his change in personalities, his change in moods has really put me on an emotional roller coaster. So she gets to work. Amanda and another girl come over to bring her lunch. And she's telling her friends about Marcelino and how he's completely changed. He's acting really strange. He's doing all of these secretive texting. And it's all very suspicious to her. And so they're asking her, well, do you think he's actually cheating on you? And I forgot what she answered. She probably gave some, I don't know, type of answer. I don't really remember. And so then at this point, Amanda, which is Brittany's really good friend and someone I think they were actually dating, or they were together while they were in prison together. And of course, this is the one that they had their little menage a trois with. So Amanda says to Brittany, well, at the end of January, which must have been around the time that they did their menage a trois, she says to Brittany, at the end of January, Marcelino had texted me. And she goes, do you want me to read it to you? And Brittany goes, no, I want to read it for myself because I want to see the phone number that it came from. And so then Amanda says, well, it wasn't a text. It was an Instagram message or something, some type of DM. So she gives Brittany the phone, and in in this message, and then Amanda, to cover her tracks, she says, I didn't know if it was just coming from him or if it was coming from the both of you. I really didn't know. So Marcelino messaged Amanda saying that he felt offended that she basically didn't want a round two with him. Kind of like, okay, I really, you weren't satisfied with me after the first time that you were with me. So, is that why you don't want a round two? Is that why you don't want to, hit me up again? And she gave him some excuse. She responded back and she gave him some excuse about, I'm going through a lot right now with my mom. And so then he says something completely inappropriate. He says to her, well, then what you need is, some more Marcelino. And I was just like, how can you say that after someone is telling you that they're going through something with their mother? And your mind automatically goes to, oh, you're going through a hard time with your mom. Well, maybe you need some of this. Like, what? Bizarre. And so in her confessional, Brittany says that even if Amanda thought that she was communicating with both Marcelino and Brittany, it would have made sense that Amanda would have somehow mentioned this exchange with Brittany. Or which to me that makes a lot of sense. Like if you thought you were talking to Brittany, at some point you would have had like a follow up conversation with Brittany about that whole exchange. To be like, man, what's wrong with your man? Why is your man so offended? Or what did he mean by all of that? But Amanda never mentioned it to Brittany ever. This is the first time that she's bringing it up. And so, but she makes it clear, Brittany makes it clear that, look, I'm not mad at Amanda. I'm more upset with Marcelino. So Brittany says that this is absolutely unforgivable. It's like the worst thing that she's ever been through. It's worse than going to jail. It's worse than going through drugs. Or being on drugs. She says this is the worst and this is irreparable, that he can never come back from this. This can never be forgiven. So, my opinions on all of this. Number one, I hope that it's not fake. My opinion is like, I think this is all fake between Marcelino and Brittany, or a lot of it is kind of just like puffed up or made up to make it more interesting than what it really is. Because I think that Marcelino and Brittany really love each other and they wouldn't be going through this otherwise. I think that maybe I don't know. Maybe something happened in Marcelino's mind. I mean, it's one thing when you have a three party encounter. It's one thing when you have a three-party encounter and like y'all are all strangers or don't really know each other that well. It's something else, I think, when it involves your spouse and maybe someone that your spouse was seriously involved with. I think that particular dynamic maybe just did something to his mind and changed him in some way and made him like this weird person that he is today. I don't understand what the hell's happening. And I thought Brittany and Marcelino were so open with each other that Marcelino would have no problem telling Brittany, because it was Brittany's idea to have the encounter in the first place. So it would have made sense if Marcelino would have gone to Brittany and said, look, okay, I really had a good time. Would you do this again? Is this something that we can do again? I don't think Brittany would care. Brittany may say no or she may say yes, but I don't think she would have been offended if he told her he wanted a round two, because Brittany is so open-minded and she digs Amanda too. So it's strange that he would go behind her. And then the funny thing about it also is that Marcelino never liked Amanda because he was basically fighting with Amanda for Brittany. He never really cared for her. So it just seems absolutely bizarre that he would contact Amanda behind Brittany's back to find out why Amanda was basically what's the word that these kids use nowadays? I don't know, that basically Amanda is not reaching out to him, or Amanda didn't tell Brittany that she wanted to do that again with Marcelino, or whatever it was. It's just strange that he feels shunned by Amanda when he didn't like her to begin with. And I know when they were having their encounter, you kind of put your personal feelings aside and you get down to business. But at the end of the day, he didn't care for Amanda. But now you're reaching out to Amanda because you want to hook up with her. And I'm assuming you wanted to hook up with her just one-on-one, just the two of them. And it doesn't seem like Marcelino would do something like that. It doesn't seem like it at all. And that's what I'm very confused about. But anyways, I cannot wait. Y'all have already probably seen this, but I cannot wait until Brittany confronts Marcelino about this, because I want to know what he has to say about it. It's just bizarre. I don't know what's going on with Marcelino. If this is how he really, really is, then I'm very worried about him. I think he needs to take a break. I think he needs like a mental health break or something. If this is how he really is, if this is what's really going on with these people in real life, Marcelino needs to have like one-on-one therapy with someone. He needs to like chill out, relax, take a vacation. I don't know what he needs to do, but this is just strange for him to be acting like this. I really didn't understand. And Amanda, you should have told Brittany. Let's not forget that. You should have told Brittany. You should have been like, "Wow, I'm surprised that your man wants to go at it again because I thought he really didn't like me." You should have said something to Brittany to let her know that he was reaching out to you like that. And if you thought that Brittany was involved in that conversation, you really then should have said something. But I don't know. I'm sorry for this loud page turning, y'all, but I got things in some kind of discombobulated order here. Let's get on to Deontay and Lindsay. When I watch Deontay and Lindsay, I want them just to hurry. I want to hurry up and get to the part where Deontay realizes Lindsay was just using him. It is so painful to watch this fake relationship because you know it's not going to end well. You just know it's not going to end well. And I just want to hurry up and get to the end because this is like a waste of time to watch all of this fake lovey-dovey stuff, to watch Lindsay act like she's actually attracted to what's his name? Deontay. I know that Deontay's into Lindsay. I know that for a fact because, he's a simp. Any woman that gives him any bit of attention, whatever, he's a simp. So I just want to get to the scam part. I just want to get to that part where he realizes he's just been scammed by Lindsay, because it's very painful to watch. Anyways, so she's out one full day from prison. Who cares? Let's move on. So she's getting ready to see Deontay. Deontay is almost there. Okay, he drove 12 long hours to get to her, and he says that he cannot take any more heartbreak. But he does. He just follows his heart. Hasn't learned a bit of anything from his past experiences of being used and abused by women. Hasn't learned a damn thing. So he's still following his heart. His heart must really hate him because his heart leads him in all the wrong places. So he rings the doorbell and she just came flying out. Okay, when he rang the doorbell, she came flying out. Jumped on him, hugged him, wrapped her arms and legs around him. And I don't even think that the other girl greeted him like that. In what was that girl's name? I can't remember. So he's getting all the feels, right? Because he's already in love with Lindsay. He's talking and his voice is like literally trembling because he's just like so overwhelmed by the fact that a girl like that is into a guy like him. So in her confessional, Lindsay says that Deontay is oozing with sex appeal. But I guess anybody would be oozing with sex appeal compared to Scott. She says that she just can't wait to see his washboard abs. And then she also made a comment about him being a whole lot shorter in person. Anything will do for Lindsay compared to Scott. And so after they do their initial greeting, he asks her, "So whose house is this?" So then she takes him inside the house and he finally meets Blaine. And, automatically, he gets very like, Deontay is like automatically kind of defensive because not every, because we've only seen him with two women, but whenever he's with a woman on this show, there's some other person lurking around in the background. When he was on it last season, the girl that he was dating or interested in, she had two other people lurking around. She had an actual lover, and then she also had an actual female lover, and she also had a male lover. She's also seen some guy, some ex-boyfriend of hers. So Deontay is constantly has to, be on the lookout of people's exes and currents and side pieces constantly. So she introduces Deontay to Blaine, and he's like very suspicious about who the hell is Blaine, how do you know him, what's really going on here. And Lindsay explains, we were just partners in crime, he sold drugs for me. And I wish that she also would have said to him, "Look, you don't have to worry, Deontay, because in the criminal world or in the drug world, a female drug dealer cannot mess around with her sellers because then she'll lose her street cred. So nothing ever happened between me and Blaine." I wish that she could have added more to her explanation other than partners in crime, he sold drugs for me, because he doesn't understand the street life. Deontay doesn't understand the hierarchy or the organizations of drug rings. He doesn't understand that. So I wish he would have explained more that, look, there was nothing happening between us. Nothing will ever happen between us. He's more like a brother to me. That it's not like that with us. But she didn't. So that door is going to be left wide open for him to have all kinds of suspicions between Lindsay and Blaine. So Blaine tells Lindsay that no, excuse me, Blaine tells Deontay that Lindsay is basically dangerous, that she has no problem physically hurting people. And, Lindsay doesn't understand why Blaine is saying that because it's like, he's ruining her game. And Deontay gets suspicious. Like, why would he be telling me that? Kind of like maybe he wants to put a rift between him and Lindsay so that he can take Lindsay. I don't know what he was thinking, but he was kind of suspicious about like, why is this guy telling me this? He's telling you this, Deontay, you dumb dumb, probably because he wants you to keep your eyes wide open. He's trying to give you the what's up by letting you know to be extra extra careful with her, not necessarily because she's dangerous, but because she's a scammer. She's just using you. Don't get too attached to her. But he's too stupid to realize that. So before Lindsay and Deontay leave, Blaine tells Lindsay to give him the address of where she's going to be going to, which I'm like, why? Why would Lindsay have to give Blaine the address? Is it for security purposes in case anything happens? Or is it because, like, why? I didn't understand that. So, Deontay, here we go again. He's a simp. He's a dum-dum. He's stupid. He's going to get caught up with Lindsay in this fake relationship. She's just using him for money. I wonder how much longer is it going to be the next episode where she starts hitting him up for money? Or do you have to wait for like the Friday episode? Like, when is this going to happen? Because the scam is going to be happening very, very, very soon. Then he's going to get mad at her. You're just using me. You're just using me. And it's just going to be a repeat of what happened last season, just a repeat of all of that. Then she's probably most likely going to end up leaving Deontay for some chick. That's how it normally happens with Deontay. Moving on. Taylor and Chance. So when we first see Taylor, she's in the car driving somewhere, and there's this very sad, gloomy music playing in the background. It's like, oh my God, who the hell died? Well, nobody died, but somebody came damn close to it because her sister Bobby had a drug relapse, and she had to, I guess she was rushed to the hospital. They had to call the ambulance to come get her. It's a bad situation. It's a really bad situation. So she's actually on her way to the rehab center where Bobby is currently staying. And when she got there, they told her that she couldn't see her sister, but she could leave the flowers and the gifts that she brought her. So to me, it was obvious. She had the relapse because, life is overwhelming for her because the home that you lived in with your sister and your nieces, you got kicked out of, and you got relegated to some danky, uninhabitable garage, and your twin sister thinks this is completely okay. So Bobby became unraveled. And when Taylor came back home, she's talking to Chance about this and how bad she feels. And I could tell that this was like real pain. I believe this scene. I believe this segment that, Bobby really did have a relapse, and, Taylor is very concerned because I felt like the emotion and the tears were real. So when she comes back home, she's talking about it with Chance, and Chance asks her, do you think it's my fault? Hell yeah. Yes. Yes, it's 100% your fault, Chance. So he asks her, do you think it's my fault? And Taylor was like, let me get directly to that part of my damn notes. She says, I don't know. It's not like you got here and all of a sudden she fell into some kind of addiction. That's exactly what she said. And no. Taylor, sweetheart. Obviously, his presence didn't cause her to develop an addiction because she was already an addict. We get it. But his presence caused her to relapse, sweetheart. His presence, his treatment towards her, your lack of compassion or sympathy towards your own twin sister, all of that contributed to her relapse. That's what I'm going to say because that's what we've been shown. Now, if Bobby is struggling with other personal private things, I cannot comment on that because that's not what they're showing us. So based on what I'm seeing on television, I would say that her relapse was caused by the fact that her sister and her sister's fly-by-night boyfriend kicked her out of her home and put her in the damn garage like she was some stray dog. And then you try to hammer and plaster a couple of boards together and you want her to be grateful for living in the garage. Okay. So, I mean, I'm just like, yeah. And then to make it even worse, to make it even worse, because when she told him, no, I don't think, it was your fault. It's not like you caused her to become an addict. Okay, that was a stupid thing to say, but to make it even worse, Chance actually says that Bobby's drug addiction is a risk for him and Taylor. He actually says that because he says, when the cops came, when they called the police or 911, I guess the police also showed up along with the ambulance. When the cops showed up, Chance says, they could have found her drugs in there. They could have found something in the home, and then I would have been going back to prison for 15 years. And Taylor says, yeah, and I could have lost my kids and my home. Are you kidding me? Someone who is suffering from a drug addiction, you're going to blame them? You're going to say that, oh, she's a risk to us? Not the fact that y'all are a risk to her and her sobriety? And y'all have proven that y'all cannot be there for her or support her in her sobriety. Taylor, you of all people should have known. You of all people should have known. And then the scene from from episode 12, that scene of Bobby in the garage. Now I see why she wanted to stay in the garage. Because I was like, why would she want to stay in the garage for that when the place it wasn't even complete? And probably because she wanted, to do something to get her mind off of her current situation. So that scene with Taylor pulling down the garage door, like she saw absolutely nothing wrong with a human being staying in that dilapidated garage, was beyond me. But anyways, so Taylor is telling, Chance is telling Taylor, yeah, she could have gotten us in trouble. Heartless. 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 Chance is heartless. And unfortunately, Taylor is empty headed. Empty, completely empty. Your sister, look, girl, Taylor, first of all, Chance, I'm pretty sure the majority of America believes that Chance is not even, y'all won't even last a year. I mean, your sister will always be your sister. Your sister will always be your sister. I'm not going to say that Bobby, I feel like Bobby should get away from them. I think Bobby should just be very far away from them because I think that Chance is very toxic to everybody. I think he has a really bad temper. I don't think he's gotten control of his temper yet. I don't think he's the best influence for those children, even though he wants to act like he's stepdaddy of the year. I think that he is a borderline emotionally abusive to Taylor, and he's very toxic to Bobby. So I think that Chance should leave, but he's not going to leave. But I think that Taylor should do all that she can to make her sister feel comfortable and to let her man know, first of all, this is my house. Okay, I had this house and we had this living arrangement way before you showed up. So my sister is staying in this house. It's not like Chance is displaced because Bobby is staying in the home. He's in the room with Taylor. They have a bedroom together. Whether Bobby sleeps on the floor, on the couch, in the kitchen, wherever, she needs to be in the home, not in the garage. So I was just like, it just blew me away that they were actually saying, yeah, she could have gotten us in trouble. And so he's trying to build up the scene where where Taylor will have the guts to tell her sister to get the hell on. Absolutely cold, heartless, mean, and very mean spirited. Moving on. Oh, excuse me, y'all. All this stuff is not in order. If I had a better editing software, all of this would be edited out. Brittany and Ray, they're back. Brittany and Ray, welcome. Okay, we know Brittany and Ray, what's going on with them. Okay, if you don't know, go refresh your memory. Brittany and Ray, so they're still living together. And I'm a little bit surprised about that because I thought that Ray would have left Brittany because Brittany is a little bit much. She's a bit much. She's very controlling. She's very insecure. She's a bit much for me. But he's still hanging in there. And so they're still living together. And they claim that they're making progress. And the scene that we catch them at, he's getting ready to go to work, but she can tell that these are the kind of things that I find, very difficult to watch because that what what she thinks is happening is not happening, and you just want to like bypass all of the anger that she's going to be displaying, all of the yelling that she's going to be doing. You know, you say you're going to work and you weren't going to work, and where were you really going? And then he's going to have to tell her, look, I didn't go to work, I went to go to your parents' house to ask them if I can have your hand in marriage. That's the part, that's the stuff that I really, it's really hard for me to sit through and watch, because we know what the what's up is, but she doesn't. And so we have to see her get mad at him and do all of this stuff before she finally realizes that he's not messing around on her or whatever the hell. So he says he's going to work, but she's very suspicious of it because he's not dressed like he's going to work. He has on his nice clothes, he has on his jewelry, his cologne, and so she gets very suspicious. And so she says to him, well, if you're going to work, I'm going to make you a lunch. And he's like, okay. So then he leaves, and then she goes on the phone with her friend, and she's like, you know what, I don't know where he went, but he said he was going to work, but it didn't look like he was going to work. And then she was like, her friend is like, oh my God, do you think he's cheating on you or whatever? So we have to go through all of that. I don't want to go through all of that. It's just stupid. So he goes to her parents' house, and he basically asks her parents if, you know, they would give their blessings for him and Brittany to get married. Surprisingly, the mother, who seemed like she was the one who was most resistant to Brittany and Ray getting together, because the mother thought that her daughter could do better because they're like a very upper middle class type of family, or maybe upper class, I don't know. So they come from up here, and Ray and his family a little bit down here. And so the mother always thought that Brittany could do better than marrying an ex-con. So, and she was very vocal about it too. And I think Brittany even hid the fact that Ray was living with her for quite a while from her family. So he comes over there and he tells them that he wants to marry Brittany. He wants their blessings. And the mom, at first, you know, she was kind of talking negative about it, like, well, I'm not so sure and I don't really know. But finally she was like, okay, fine, I give you my blessings. But the father wouldn't. The father was like, no, that's my little princess. I'm not ready to give her up, and you're going to have to prove to me that you're worthy of my little princess. And so he's got some work to do to convince the father. So he wants to marry Brittany. There's not much else to say about that. It is what it is. I think that they're fine, I guess, but Brittany needs to tone down. I don't understand these people who feel like you have to have jealousy and you have to be very controlling, and you always have to be suspicious. Like that like for them, if I love you, I have to show that I'm jealous. I just don't understand that type of dynamic. I don't get it. You don't have to show insane, uncontrollable jealousy to show that you love someone. I don't understand that. You know, let people be whoever the hell they want to be. And if they still choose to be with you, I think that's the biggest testament of love. Instead of forcing someone to be with you, or manipulating someone to be with you, or threatening someone to be with you, then it just shows that you believe that you're unworthy of someone choosing to be with you. Let me get off my damn soapbox. Okay, okay, we got that. There are 7 couples on this damn show. 7 couples. Let's move on to Chaz and Branwin. So, Chaz and Branwin. He's on his way to Portland for his birthday. He's going to be seeing he's going to be seeing Branwin for his birthday. Like I said, Branwin is, you know, she's like hyperventilating, extremely nervous about Chaz coming to see her, because she knows what's going to be going down. He wants to consummate his marriage with her, and she's extremely nervous about that because she's never done the act sober. I think that's a lot of baloney. I think she has done the act sober. She's used that as an excuse because she doesn't want to touch him with a 10-foot pole. Point blank, period. She knew that this was going to come. She knew this was going to happen. So I don't understand how she thought that she can get away with not sleeping with this man for however long she's going to be with him. I don't know how she's going to continue to, you know, put up this whole charade about, oh my God, I can't do it when I'm sober thing. Are you going to make him pay for fake therapy? You know, are you going to go through like this year-long treatment of therapy, just to avoid consummating your marriage? Like, I don't understand what Bronwyn's end goal is. So he shows up, and, her friends, to me, Bronwyn's friends, they look, I don't understand how. I think they're about the same age as Bronwyn, but she looks so much younger than her friends. And then there's that one friend with the dark hair. I mean, these people are. I don't know her friend. I don't know. Anyways, they've partied hard. Okay, they have partied super duper hard, and this is like the effects of some very hard partying. So, anyways, So he gets there, and as soon as he gets there, she tells him, "I have a surprise for you," and he walks inside the cabin, house, whatever it is, and her friends are there. Three of her friends are there with balloons and a cake, and he walks in and they yell out "Happy Birthday!" And I don't think this was the surprise that he was expecting. I think he was pissed because he wants to have some alone time, and plus, it took him a lot to get there because his flight kept on getting delayed, delayed, delayed. So he was already frustrated with that. Then you get there, you want to just be alone with your wife, and you got her three cackling hens there, interrupting the flow. So he gets there, and they present him with the cake and the balloons, and they sit down, and that one friend who looks tired, she starts crying, and she's like, "Oh, you're going to be taking our Bronwyn away from us, and I just don't know if she's ready to leave Portland because all that she knows is still here in Portland." And then Chaz says, "Well, she needs to get away from this environment because this is what got her in trouble to begin with." And the friend says, "Well, that was back then, and things are different now, and basically don't take our Bronwyn away from us." And Chaz is like, "Well, he wasn't budging, he wasn't going to back down. He was like, I don't give a damn about what the hell you're talking about. This is my wife, and I'm taking her back to Kentucky with me. I don't give a damn about what y'all are saying, what y'all are thinking." And then they bring up the whole daughter thing, and her daughter is going to miss her, and she can't be over. Well, Bronwyn offered her daughter to come with her to Kentucky. Her daughter, I would have said, if I was Chaz, I would have been like, "Well, look how long, they've been without each other." Because Bronwyn didn't care about being away from her daughter. She was in and out of prison for her daughter's entire life. So miss me with the whole daughter thing, because Bronwyn didn't care about having a relationship with her daughter, because if she cared, she wouldn't have been committing crimes. So anyways, Bronwyn was just sitting there next to Chaz, just listening it to, whatever, listening to this conversation, and she's going to be leaving. I think, I hope, I don't know. But Chaz was not moved. He was not moved at all. He had no sympathy for it. He was like, "I don't give a damn what the hell y'all are talking about. I'm going to take her the hell away from y'all." Moving on to Amber and Puppy. No interest in Amber and Puppy. Zero interest. Supposedly, okay, Amber has gone through I don't know how many boyfriends since she's been out of prison. Puppy has gone through I don't know how many boyfriends since she's been out of. Amber and Puppy, whatever the hell y'all are looking for in these men, you already have it in each other. I'm not understanding why y'all are just not together. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't understand. Whatever the hell y'all are looking for in these outside relationships, you can find it in one another. The faith, the fidelity, the loyalty, the love, the commitment, all of that, you can just give it to each other. What are we doing? What the hell are we doing? Eric came back from the casinos. Puppy thought he left her in whatever state they're in. Puppy thought he took off and left her. So she's all panicky, and then Amber's all panicky, and Amber's like, "Well, just get ready because I might have to have my mom come and get you." Okay, Eric didn't go anywhere. He's still there. He didn't abandon her in this other state. He just went to the damn casinos. He comes back home from the casinos, and comes back to the hotel from the casinos, and you know, someone had said earlier, I think it was Amber, had told Puppy, you're different now. And Puppy says, "Yeah, I know. I'm not that happy. Ever since I met Eric, I'm not that happy anymore." Girl, when have you ever been happy? I've been watching y'all's segment, whatever, y'all's story from day one. I've never seen Puppy happy. Puppy always seems stressed and depressed and full of anxiety. I've never seen her happy. So anyway, she comes back. He comes back, and they're talking, and Puppy's like, "I thought you left me here." He was like, "I wasn't gonna leave you here." And then she says something about, "Well, you left me at the party," and he said, "I didn't leave you at the party. You refused to come with me." And so they're going back and I don't look, whatever. I don't know what the hell's going on here. Puppy thinks that she's in love with this man who is still married to someone else. When she asked him straight up, "What's up with your divorce?" He didn't want to give her a straight answer. Red flag. But, to calm her down, he starts canoodling with her. And then she says in her confessional, "Oh, whenever I'm around him, I'm so weak. He makes me so weak. And our brain, it just breaks down all my barriers. And I'm just like silly putty in his hand." I'm exhausted. Whatever. Okay, whatever, Puppy. If you want to stay with him and you're okay with his vague, ambiguous answers about the divorce, and he actually has the nerve to say in the camera, "There's things about my divorce that I can't discuss." Honey, people get divorced every second of the day. Ain't nothing going on in your divorce that is top secret. Miss us with all of that. Okay, the most wealthiest, most famous people in the world get divorced, and we know all the details. Miss us with, oh, I can't talk about it because there's some things that top secret in my divorce. Get out of here with that. Puppy, hook up. Get back with your girl, Amber. Amber, stop playing. Okay, moving on to Destiny, Sean, and Sarah. Little interest. Very little interest in these people. Destiny still wants to crash this damn wedding because she wants her money from Sean. The money that she's talking about, she says that he promised her a $10,000 ring. And she also paid half on the car that he had repossessed. So she wants her money. Stupid, silly, clownish, not interested. So she wants to crash the wedding. Okay, fine. I hope she does to make their storyline a little bit more interesting. Sean breaks it down to Sarah that Destiny contacted him. Sarah's like, well, how did she get your number? How did she get your number? He's like, I don't know. And then Destiny tells us that it was easy because, she was involved with a lot of fraudulent crimes, committing fraud. So she knows all the ins and outs on how to get information on people because, she would, commit fraud and do all kinds of, these con games on people. So she knows how to get the information that she wants. And so she doesn't believe him, and she shouldn't, because Sean he has nothing but lies running through his bloodstream. He would not even know the truth if the truth knocked him over with a Mack truck. He does not know the meaning of honesty, truth, none of that. He is just constantly, he wakes up in the morning, the first thing, if he says good morning, you got to look outside and make sure that it's actually a good morning. You cannot believe anything that comes out of Sean's mouth. But anyway, so, she's all upset about how did she get your number, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't even matter. Whatever. Who cares? He's lying. He's always lying. It doesn't even matter. So Destiny wants to crash the party. Destiny is obviously pregnant. Oh, we also hear about, how Destiny got married to some guy named Jason. After she broke up with Sean, she married Jason, went back to prison, came out of prison, divorced Jason. So I don't know who the hell she's pregnant by. Is she pregnant by Jason or is she pregnant by Sean? Who the hell knows, and who the hell really cares? I don't care about Sean, Destiny, and Sarah. I thought I did, but I don't. Because I'm so sick and tired of looking at Sean and his Hitler-like mustache. It's just very bizarre to me. This is my review of Life After Lockup. Thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. Hopefully you'll watch my review for episode 14 and I'll be finally caught up, ready for episode 15. If you made it this far, thank you so much. I do appreciate it. I really do. On your way out, don't forget to rate the video. Whatever you want to do is fine with me. And if you like this content, please subscribe and I'll talk to you later. Bye.